following podcast may contain strong language. Listener discretion is advised.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and welcome to Hallmark of Greatness. I am Joe, and with me as always, purveyor of ham jelly and the unofficial wife of Tony Meatballs, it's Barney.
Tony Macaroni.
It was the last film we did. Oh, Tony Macaroni. There is a Tony Mac. We could have gone to Tony Macaroni.
We could have gone to Tony Mac. Could we though? Or would he have just gone, Tony's, and taken us to somebody else's?
Just to his mate Tony's. If you want to know more about that, listen to the Hallmark of listen to Damn It Vince a couple of weeks back when me and Barney went to Scotland for John's wedding and had an interesting time with the local taxi service. That was the last film we did. We've been kind of distant. That's my fault for having weddings, funerals, and general just stuff going on in my life. But we're back. We're going to do full services back now, in some way, shape, or form. Even if it's not a full episode, there'll be something week in, week out now. Just because, not that you pay for this, but I feel like you deserve something, you people.
You three listeners.
We get all right. But if you would like to keep up to date with all the Hallmark of Greatness gossip, you can follow us on Twitter at Hallmark of Great, all one word, or you can find us on Instagram and Facebook at Hallmark of Greatness. Or please recommend a film to us because we cannot be trusted.
This was awful.
This barely passes as a film.
I think that's why it took us so long as well to record it, because we don't really want to talk about it.
I have very little to say. This might be the shortest ever episode on. This might be going for Punk's half an hour episode, and 20 minutes of that'll be me screaming, because it bad. Let's just not beat around the bush any further. Crap. 2022's Love Afloat. It's a TV movie. And have you bothered doing a synopsis, Matron?
No, I put Below Deck, but Hallmark style.
Yeah, that ain't it.
Nothing like.
The actual synopsis for this film: when Lorelai inherits a shabby sailboat from a distant relative, she hires Rob to help clean, fix, and sail it from its present location at a Caribbean island to Miami. The two will have to work together as romantic sparks start to fly. Now, right. Oh, sorry. I've just received a DM from GoodPod saying, "Can you please stop bashing us?" And I'm like, "Stop lying." Love
Afloat.
Let's just go straight into this. Love Afloat. We open, as we always do. This had a weird production company, and I can't remember who it was. But it's not a Hallmark, and it's not the other one. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
No, I've only got the director.
No, but it's I can't remember what the one's called. But yes, we're introduced to our female protagonist of this film, Lorelai, who is a
businesswoman.
She works in a kind of vague office, and she is going to help her friend.
Ethnic best friend pitch Blue Panda watches.
Blue Panda watches. She'll make it the next big thing. And I was like, okay, fair enough. She goes in to have a meeting with her boss, who's like, "Oh, if you do these things, you can become partner."
It's very vague.
It's so vague. If I was going to write a thing about CEO level nonsense, I'd at least try and understand how it works. But this is just you need to get these pitches and you can be partner. And I'm like, does that make you an untouchable boss of a company being a partner? Or is there someone above you? What? I don't understand how the hierarchy works. It's like escrow all over again. I still don't understand what that is. But she goes, "Oh, okay. But unfortunately, I've just had a phone call and my
Uncle Thomas is dead.
Uncle Thomas is dead, and he's left me his boat. And that boat means a lot to me because it was the boat him and his wife, Susan."
Yeah, why not?
No, Susan Big writing, because that notepad, if that's supposed to be her diary, she must have had loads of them because her handwriting's massive. No, wait, was she called Lorelai as well?
No, were they all called Lorelai? Well, it's easier to. I haven't got her name down.
I remember Thomas, and I think they do say it. But again, this film, I've hold my hands up. I've tried to watch this 3 times, and I've never seen 3 bits the same all the way through because nothing happens. It's so boring. And so she has to fly out to go and pick this boat up in a weird coastal town called like Pachinko, Bolongo.
I don't know. I've just called it Tequila Island, and I don't know why.
No, it's fine. Again, nobody knows. She gets a seaplane there though, so it must be a small island. And
because he yells at the staff and goes like, "Where is she?" He's like, well, she's gone off.
Well, this is when we meet Rob as well. Like they've really thought about that, didn't they? And he is a competent sea boy.
Dog.
Salty. He's got a shanty in his heart and salt in his veins, apparently. And he's just come off driving a boat into Tequila Island, and the captain is like, "Oh, Rob, you should work for me." And Rob's like, "Oh, I go where the wind takes me," and he's supposed to be like a free spirit, but he's just like a damp blanket. He's kind of dull. But he gets instructed to go and help Lorelai to find the boat. And he kind of like, she's wandering around. He picks her up and then takes her to the boat.
They go to the boat and the boat is in disrepair. Like, I don't know how long Uncle Thomas has been dead for.
I would assume months at this point.
That boat was disgusting. Yeah. She messes with the sail and gets a face full of rainwater.
She does. But also in the walk down to that, there's some great continuity where her hair is behind her ears, and then in front of her ears, and then behind her ears, and then in front of her ears as she's walking down. Like she's constantly sweeping it back. Just a fun thing I noticed because I've seen that scene 3 times.
It's really windy on the pier.
Has he met... Oh, Rob has come back off the boat and he meets Celeste, who runs the cafe, and her small child, pirate child.
Yeah, because a crazy man turns up with a snapper and says, "Well, would you like it?" And she's like, "Fish like this needs cooking immediately.
Put it straight into my pan. Don't even debone it." Just
Nope.
like, he's also got a load of cooked prawns, and he's like, "They're straight from the sea." And I was like,
Nope.
That's not
Unless
right.
that sea's boiling.
Yeah, they shouldn't be pink like that. They should be grey with all tentacles on them. I like. And then at this point, I literally blank out. I have no frame of reference.
The boss rings and she's not getting the blue panda deal or something.
He's handed that off to someone else, but he says, if you want to make a partner, here are like a load of other things, and you need to rebrand them all because that's your job.
Yeah.
If you want this partner job. Jablinski has already put in for it, and we might give it him instead. And she's like, "Oh no, I'll do it. It's gonna take me a couple of days to get this boat over to Miami to sell."
Yeah.
And then she goes like, "Go on."
I was going to say, Pirate Child is waitressing in the cafe, and she upsells. She does well.
I mean, Ramsey would be proud of that child. And she's like, "What would you recommend?" She was like, "The most expensive thing on the menu and some chips." But she's annoying as fuck, that kid. Like,
yeah. Well, they all are, to be honest.
Yeah, there ain't nobody good in this film. Celeste's all right, the chef lady, with her spicy clams and deviled plantain, which is a thing that he's been craving all around.
I like plantain.
Plantain's nice, but
she can't get a boat mechanic because it's high season, so Celeste gets her a mechanic and a cabin kit, which involves a head torch.
Yeah, that's it. That's all you need. Don't worry about it.
That's all you need.
She's found a book. After going through the downstairs bit, I would assume that's called like the galley, the aft, I don't know. I'm not a pirate.
Galley's where the chef is.
Okay.
There's aft side and port side, isn't there?
No, starboard, port and starboard.
Port starboard. There's an aft deck though.
And then
because it's the posh bit and here's the aft deck.
That'd be the bit at the front, and then the back bit is the stern.
I don't know. My knowledge is based on below deck.
My knowledge is based on things I'm just making up now. I think stern sounds like the back of a boat, doesn't it? It's the stern end. It's like where the engine lives. Yeah.
Yeah, why not?
Yeah. Anyway, and she finds this book, and it's her auntie's, who was married to Thomas, Auntie Susan's diary. And she's like explaining how, we finally bought the boat of our dreams and now we can live together. And as she reads this book out, like all the things sort of kind of parallel what's happening in her life at this time. So Rob shows up and he is the mechanic.
Yeah.
Because he's got nothing else going on. He could be out sailing boats, but or whatever. Is that a job?
He says the first job we need to do is put light bulbs in, but the fuse box is dead.
Pirates! That's all I was thinking all the way through. I was just hoping Drop Dead Fred was going to come in and yeah. Again, I don't think he really knew what he was doing. I don't think any of these people knew what they were doing. I think one of them had been near a pedalo and were like, let's make a film about boats. I don't know. Boats feel like a very rich people thing. Can one person sail a boat like that across the ocean? There seems like there's lots of sails and things to take care of.
It depends how close the island is. Really?
Tequila Island. Well, I mean, right at the very end, they go like, I'm on the open ocean, I can't steer. And then it cuts and they're literally sailing up the coast. Like, there's land in sight. And I was like, is that open waters?
I don't know. We'll never know.
I'm not an aquatic boy.
Then they go shopping and buy a load of fruit, and she buys a replica of the Loreline, whatever that boat's called.
The Lorelei.
Lorelei. And then they stumble across the mural.
This mural. Yeah, it's in Celeste's cafe.
It's like on the outside.
Yeah.
It's weird. But it's like, I could have painted that. It's nothing special.
It feels like a drunk chimp could have painted it, to be fair.
Exactly.
Okay, well, I was giving you some credit there. And like, for some reason, Celeste's like, oh, you can repaint the mural?
She said she wants her to paint it because she's got some of the shit artwork she did as a child and she thinks it's brilliant.
I mean, that's not good, is it? I've got some of your son's artwork on my fridge and like...
I mean, I've got the demented sheep from Henrietta.
I have that as well. That's not on the fridge. I've got the one of me, Ellis, and Braun Strowman watching wrestling, and I was like, I mean, but yeah, if for 20 years' time, because I was like, I'm going to paint your house, I'd be like, I need more evidence than this, dude. But I guess she's like a graphic. I think her job is graphic design.
But that's very different to painting.
Not if you're Pam from The Office. Because she does it all, but then she went to Pratt, so I don't know. Again, none of this film makes sense on any of it at any level. She agrees to do this, and like she fucks off like the boss, doesn't she?
She does her rebranding strategies, and then she goes out with a pad and a green pen and does a few squiggles, and then decides that she's going to paint the mural based on that.
Yeah,
these squiggles are perfection.
Very similar to the beach thingy one that we done, where what was that? This is why we need James, mate, because I can't keep track of these things. The one where in the murder quarry.
Don't get married. That one.
No, the murder quarry and looking up her skirt, going up a pier, whatever that one was. Because his topographical maps were very squiggles on top of other maps. But yeah, so she agrees to do this. She kind of does her other things, but it's going to take some time to get the boat ship shape to sail to Miami to sell. But then she starts going, oh, well, I don't know if I want to sell it, because reading this document that she finds that has like 8 letters per page. It's in like 450 font. It's huge. She's like, this was part of my childhood growing up and shit, and yet she doesn't know her way around the town or anything.
No, nothing really makes sense.
No. So anyway, they have this thing. We get like a fixing up the boat.
Yeah, they get a generator. And we find out Rob used to work on corporate finance on Wall Street. And he left it all behind.
Because of course he fucking did. Because he can't just be a boat guy. He has to have like money behind him to do it.
And then Pirate Child turns up and tells them they're all going for a picnic, and they make Ernesto come with them.
Oh, Ernesto was the guy that brought the snapper and the prawns.
Big fish, yeah.
He just that's his fishing for the day. He caught one snapper and a bucket of prawns.
And then I put, are they eating fried eggs on the beach?
Oh, I didn't even look at that, to be fair. I was too busy going, how long's left of this film? And Rob and Lorelei are like doing the falling in love thing.
Well, they do a weird treasure hunt thing. It's bizarre. Doesn't make sense. What are they doing? That beach is tiny.
Don't worry about it. How much stuff can be buried in? Oh, the tiny child is obsessed with pirates as well, which makes me think this must be somewhere in the Caribbean. I don't think you can sail from the Caribbean to Miami in a day, as we find out later on. But and then I got nothing at this point, Barney. Like my next bits are the mural is finished.
She offers Rob the boat, and then he says he can't afford it, and then Rob goes missing.
Huh?
Hang on.
I
When
am-
did they do the mural?
they're both sitting there covered in paint, and
They throw it at each other, which is just really not great.
I assume there was a paint fight because Hallmark.
Oh, no.
Hallmark.
They go out sailing and the boat breaks down.
and
And they get back via the sails.
there's just a wet mattress downstairs. And it's implied.
Stop it.
What?
And then her and Pirate Girl paint the mural and then they have a paint fight.
Yeah. I have no memory of this bit. This must be the bit I haven't seen because I slept through it.
Celeste then gets a letter from Ernesto.
Oh, Ernesto fancies her rotten, doesn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's why he keeps bringing a big fish. And then they have another party.
It's the Caribbean dating system. The bigger the snapper,
Bigger the pan.
the more immediately it has to be cooked. Yeah, they finish the mural and then they're like, we'll have a party.
I mean, why not?
To celebrate. They go back to the boat, and is this like she leaves her phone behind at this point, or is this later on? Like, because again, my knowledge, they go to the party. Has Rob again? Like nothing happened. Has Rob?
All I've got about the party is that she's avoided dancing because she doesn't know how to dance. So then he starts teaching her. That's all
right,
I've
yeah.
got about the party.
So before this, I think Rob says he's going to leave the island, and he gives Celeste the recipe for his mum's conch fritters. Yeah, it's the seafood. It's the bit inside the shell, apparently. Of a conch. They finished the mural. They're covered in paint. Oh, maybe you should go and get painted, get dressed before we have the party. He goes to pick her up from the boat, and she leaves her phone behind, and it starts ringing, and it's Blue Panda Watch Lady.
Oh, right,
Miriam. But that doesn't really pay off at this point.
Is it not to tell that Jehobo got the job, or whatever it was called?
That's what I was thinking. That makes more sense now, yeah. So they go and have this party, and there's a rogue line of children running up and down, and I'm just fucking furious.
You'd be taking them out, tripping them over.
If I was on Tequila Island and there was children in party hats running around while I'm trying to have a party, also the dampest party, because if you looked, it was lathering it down outside, and all the shutters were down in the bar to stop water coming in. She starts dancing with Rob. There's also a guy behind the counter who does good dancing as well. And then she says to him, I don't want to sell the boat to just anyone because it has lots of memories. I want to sell it to you. I can do it on layaway, or you can just do me for it. And he says, I can afford a boat. I've been able to afford a boat for fucking years. I just don't want one. And she goes, I don't know then. It's so weird. Nothing really makes
Well, no, because it takes them less than a week to fix this boat up and it's ready to go to Miami. And they smash a bottle on the boat and off they go.
Ernesto comes down.
Celeste brings her a picnic.
Celeste brings a picnic. Ernesto brings a fucking another wicker basket full of fruit. He must be the wicker basket fruit man of the island. With a branch, so you'll return to land, and a bottle of champagne. You're supposed to do a speech to the sea, because sailors are a superstitious bunch.
Yes.
And I was kind of hoping she smashed it with a bare hand and it all just cut her arm and something interesting. Oh, sharks bit them. No, doesn't happen.
Nothing.
They set off sailing. Set off sailing.
That's it. Oh, and then Mr. Harvey comes and looks at the boat.
Yeah. On the sailing, she answers her phone and it's the lady saying Jablinski's already got the job, so don't bother coming back for it or something. And she goes, I guess I'll just be a person of the sea then.
This is because the boss told Fibs to try and get her back quicker. So Jehobo hasn't got the job. It's just to get her back. But she decides to not. Yeah, she decides to not sell the boat. And yeah. So Mr. Harvey's two lines were useless.
There's also another good bit in this as well, I will say, that when Rob is going on about Lorelai as a siren. And she would lure sailors away miles off course. And how did that end? And he doesn't answer. I was like, with death normally.
With death, yeah.
Sirens would lure sailors in mythology onto the rocks and eat them? ? I don't know. But they kind of just skipped around that. And I was like, and then it ends with them sailing a boat up to Miami to not sell it.
He wants a boat, but all the ones he's looked at are missing one key thing. You.
Ugh.
That's how it ends.
So he's got, yeah. Again, I apologize for the shortness of these reviews, but there is literally
There's nothing to talk about. It's them mopping a boat for most of it, and I'm pretty sure a boat needs more work to it than mopping it.
You got to swab the decks. You got to trim the sails.
Don't start trying to name boat parts again.
You got to poop on the decks. Like, we need you people. I know the people out there that listen, because I see the statistics, to just recommend like films to us that and like have a bit we could do a bit about. Because this had there's nothing in it, nothing in there we can like riff off. It's just bad. It's a film that exists and someone's filmed it, and that's fine, but they shouldn't. It should have just been left in someone's brain forever. They're epic tales of the high seas. That's it. I mean, have you got a score for this? I don't even feel it's worthy of a score.
No, I feel like I'd like to forget we ever watched it.
I've watched it 3 times because it's been like a month in the viewing. But there is nothing. There is nothing there.
No,
it's not
null and void.
It's the first ever X. It's the first ever did not happen. Sorry. I know some people live for these results. Nobody does. But it's just a nothing film. And for that, I am genuinely sorry.
Facts. It was filmed in February in Miami, Florida.
But they sailed to Miami.
No. It was directed by Damien Ramey, who directed Love Map.
Oh, fucking wow. Okay, that makes sense.
He's also got a theme of other films he has produced. Well, directed, apologies. A Model Kidnapping.
Wait,
model as in supermodel. Like,
He's not going around like a
trapped model. Trapped. So he's kidnapped her, then he's trapped her.
Okay.
And then Brutal Bridesmaids.
Oh, it takes a turn there then, doesn't it?
That sounds good. Alana Smith, who was Lorelei, she's just finished her theatre run of Cat on a Hot Tin Roof.
Okay.
Disney Plus have released Chang Can Dunk, and she's in that.
I don't know what that is.
I don't know what that is either. I'm imagining something basketball-y.
Possibly.
And she has a recurring role in Power Book 2, Ghosts. Have you ever heard of that?
I've not even seen Power Book 1, mate. I wouldn't know what was going on. Why are there ghosts in this one?
This film is her first lead role.
It kind of feels like that. And she does good in it. Like, she's the best.
She's not got a lot to work with, though, has she?
She does tip a load of water on her top, which, I don't know. I'm a man.
Is that why you watched it 3 times?
I only saw that bit once. Come on, any more?
Yeah, her first word was an impression of her Jewish grandma, Stella, yelling, Jack! I was waiting for you to do the impression.
Okay, let me get into this. Hey, Jax!
Why?
I don't know. I don't want to do a Jewish impression, mate. That sounds like... Stop trying to
I
look...
thought you'd do her with Ten Fag Rita or whatever we had the other couple of films ago. What was she called?
So long. I'm out of sequence.
And she really wants to star in a film set in a Jewish holiday. She says Hanukkah's already been done, but she wouldn't mind Passover or Rosh Hashanah.
I'm for that. Yeah. I mean, I don't know whether you must have done it as well back when we were at school. You had to learn about all about the Jewish faith because we lived right near the Jewish district. Yeah. So I want to know more about Passover. Just more about Seder's. Like anything. Like can't hurt, can it?
Because they did release a Hallmark Hanukkah film, didn't they?
They've done a few of them now. I think that's why a lot of certain people have left the Hallmark brand because they were diversifying too much. I was like, oh, come on.
To a branch of religion that Christianity has come off.
I mean, yes. For me and you, yes. For other people, American people, no. Jesus was American. He had a gun, rode an eagle, eating McDonald's. On Route 66.
Fed all those people chips and filet-o-fish. Rob was played by Travis Bruno Thomas.
Too many names.
He is known for Mission Overlord and Killer Design.
He isn't known for either
Again,
of those.
never heard of anything. But he is lovely, and he spends his free time volunteering for animal shelters, finding homes for rescue dogs, and continuing his lifelong passion for everything outdoors.
First two, I'll allow him. Last one, because he can't live in it. He can't. He has to roam neighborhood to neighborhood.
And my last one, Ernesto, is played by Demi Castro, and he plays Carlos in Christmas in Pine Valley. I don't know if you've ever watched that.
Nope.
And he appears in bit parts in Law and Order. Oh, Falcon and the Winter Soldier. Dharma. A few little bits like that.
Oh, okay. He feels like he just did this because he lives nearby, sort of thing.
Yeah. I'll just fill in.
But yeah, there was no kind of real jeopardy or out, was there? Was there even a let me explain? No.
No, he just goes off for a bit, doesn't he? A bit of a sulk because he wants to
him.
do her.
I'll show you semen, he says. On a dead man's shirt. Stop it!
You still laughing at you.
I'm just trying to think. Anyway. This was bad for reviews, man. This was weak times. 4 out of 10. Cheesy Smiles and Harmless by Duncan Moody, 17. Cheesy with a capital C, but very easy watching if your partner has a headache.
Okay.
The two leads have chemistry, but overall smile, grins like Cheshire cats throughout the entire movie. The audio is poor, and the party scenes has guests dancing as if they're in a silent disco. The main characters are all over the top in facial expressions and mannerisms. The boat appears to get repaired by constant mopping of the deck.
See? I didn't write this review.
You and Duncan Moody. Other than that, it's harmless fun and not without its charms, even if the plot is as transparent as the clear skies and utterly predictable. If you set your expectations low, you'll probably enjoy it enough to get lost for 90 minutes. Just don't expect anything more than a Hallmark special. It's not a Hallmark.
It's not a Hallmark. It's.
I've kind of got to that thing now, like we might have to start doing actual Hallmark films because at least they have like beats and stuff in them. This just has nothing. But I got a 10 out of 10 by PJ Ego Highness. I've watched this several times, normally when I can't sleep, and honestly, they should medically prescribe this film. It's cheaper than anesthesia and less painful.
Great.
So that's it. In conclusion, that was 2022's Love Afloat. I'm sorry it's taken us this long to come out with it, but also I'm sorry you've had to listen to it. It ain't good.
I mean, if you listen to us, then you don't have to watch it, and we wouldn't inflict this film on anybody.
No, like in Guantanamo, where they play Cher at you, like really loud and stuff. I'd be into that because I'd be like, I fucking love Cher. They were like, you gotta watch Love. I sentenced you to 5 years of watching Love Afloat. Oh, no. Come on, that's not fair. Yeah, there ain't now behind it. Don't watch it. It's bad. It's the first ever non-film we've ever done. No rating whatsoever.
No. Remember that for when it comes up on the quiz, the new year quiz.
I won't remember this film as soon as this happens. I'm going to get out of my brain by putting a soldering iron up my nose. I would say your favourite line from the film, but I ain't got one. I ain't got. A fish that size needs to go straight into my pan. That's it.
Not even what she says.
Say goodbye.
Goodbye. It's full of cacti.